Let your imagination soar as we dive deep into the captivating world of Disney parks. It's time for the Extra Magic Hour podcast, where the fun never ends and the magic is limitless.
Hey, welcome to the show. We are here. This is the Extra Magic Hour show. Today we are going to talk about monorails and specifically Walt Disney World monorails. So I'm not going to say this is the complete history, but this is a pretty good history of monorails at Walt Disney World. So we got this broken into multiple little pockets of things. You know, we'll talk about like origins, design, expansions, different versions of it, different lines, incidents and accidents. What made me think about this was the monorail black allegedly had a fire. I don't think it was a fire. It was just black smoke coming from one compartment. I think just, I don't know, not a fire. It was just something went haywire and it was smoking. So they shut down the whole monorail system to be on the safe side. So that's what made me think of monorails this weekend. So, all right, let's get started. I'll kick it off and then Mr. James will come in. First, we're going to start with origins and original intent. The original intent. What is the intent of a monorail? Claim your intent, Mr. Monorail. What do you intend to do?
State your intent.
Yes.
I intend to go down a track in one direction.
Safely.
Either making multiple stops or just one.
All right. So Walt Disney's vision after introducing the Elgway monorail at Disneyland in 1959, Walt promoted monorails as a particular urban transportation. In his 1966 Epcot film, 1966, he described a Florida property where elevated transit, monorails and people movers would be the backbone for this working city, the Magic Kingdom resorts, and other districts. Post-Walt's plan, following Walt's death in 1966, Epcot shifted from a working city to a theme park. Disney still chose a high-capacity monorail as the resort's signature transport for the Magic Kingdom area, both to move guests and to symbolize a forward-looking vacation kingdom. So, listen, if you've been on the People Mover, you've seen Walt Disney's original Epcot that he dreamed up. That model there is real, and it's Walt Disney's original thinking of what Epcot should have been. So, I really wish they would put that somewhere where people can see it from different angles, you know, rather than just zipping past it. Just saying. Yeah. Like in a museum.
That would be great.
It would be great. It would be great.
So,
all right.
A little bit here on the design and construction. And the opening of 1971, Guideway and Trains, Walt Disney World's initial fleet was the Mark IV, designed for Walt Disney World and assembled by Martin Marietta in Florida. Trains used rubber tires on a precast post-tensioned concrete beam supported by pylons. Routes at opening of October 1st, 1971. Here we go with everybody's favorite October 1st again. The Express Line, nonstop between the Ticket and Transportation Center, also known as the TTC, and the Magic Kingdom. A resort line, a loop around the Seven Seas Lagoon, stopping at the Contemporary, Polynesian Village, and the Magic Kingdom. A station for the Grand Floridian was added when that resort opened in 1988. The purpose was both practical transportation and featured attraction featured a attraction offering scenic approaches to the Magic Kingdom.
Very cool. Yeah. And we should say that Bob Gurr had a major part in its design.
Just a slight bit of hand in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little. Not a lot.
A little bit. So let's talk about expansion now. So the expansion to Epcot in 1982, Epcot Beam opened in October 1st. When? October 1st, 1982. It runs from the TTC to Epcot, entering on a sweeping elevated loop and stopping outside the front gate. The Epcot addition increased demand and complexity, dispatching and fleet management was adjusted to keep frequency headways on all three lines. So now they had three lines: Epcot, Resort, and Express. Fleet versions used at Walt Disney World through the years. So the Mark IV ran from 1971 to 1991. It was built specifically for Walt Disney World. Was in service from a resort opening, supported the Magic Kingdom beams, and later also ran to Epcot from 1982 to 1991. They began the retirement with the arrival of the Mark VI. Last Mark IV trains were retired in 1991. Mark VI trains were on from 1989 to present. They were manufactured by Bombardier, who also made the Skyliner recently, phased into service from 1989 through 1991 as the Mark IVs were retired. They brought higher capacity, upgraded HVAC, improved controls, and refined safety systems. The Mark VI fleet has been periodically refurbished, notably in 2010, with new interiors, lighting, signage, door controls, and updates. After the 2009 collision, which we'll get to later, the fleet roster changed from pink, purple, which were retired, to teal, which was assembled from the undamaged cars of those two trains. This entered into service in 2010. Peach was added to restore fleet count in 2011. So there was rumors before the pandemic that Disney was going to spend a boatload of money on an entire new fleet. Yeah, and I think a lot of us, if you've ever seen video or pictures of the Japanese Tokyo, their monorail is much like a subway car. So you can get in the front car and literally walk to the back car. There's no
gappage.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping
it's
you
not
going
closed
from
off.
car to, yeah, it's not closed off like I was like, you have one car, two car, three car. So everybody was hoping, well, that would be easier because, you know, people can move about. You can squish people to the front or squish people to the back, whatever. But unfortunately, it never happened. So
no,
I got to keep that dream alive by mentioning it here.
I don't know how that would work. I don't know how that would work down here with people.
Yeah. And I also feel like that would be a better solution also for wheelchairs and strollers and ECVs, because you could literally take one car and just line them up, you know, and have no people really in it, you know, except for their guests.
Like our buses.
Yeah, it would be certainly a lot easier because then you're not worrying about you know, having to get them out of different cars along the monorail. They'd all be in one car, you know, drop the ramp once and get three people on or off or whatever the situation was. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just a thought. So let's keep that hope alive.
Yeah. Let's put it in the burner. See what happens.
Exactly.
All right. What was planned versus what was built? The original concept studied in the late 1960s to the 1970s envisioned a broader monorail network linking the Epcot City District, Magic Kingdom, Magic Kingdom era, a Lake Buena Vista Disney Village commercial zone, and had a later parks existed at the time. Additional corridors that could have reached future resort areas. Why those extensions didn't happen. Elevated monorail is capital intensive, and Epcot became a theme park. And Epcot being a theme park, Disney balanced transport needs with lower cost, buses and boats. Later, the 2019 Skyliner offered a aerial transit option at substantially lower build operating costs than newer monorail corridors. Technology, train control, and autonomy evolution are important clarification up front. Walt Disney World's monorails are not operated autonomously in passenger service. They use automatic train protection and other automation assists, but the trained pilot is aboard and actively involved in operation. GPS is not the primary means of movement control.
I don't think that's entirely 1,000% correct. Okay, I do know this. I do know that the monorail, there are markers in the beam, and each monorail has to stay 2 markers away from the train in front of it or behind it. Okay, that's safety thing number 1. Number 2 is they cannot exceed a certain speed, and I think it's something like 35 miles an hour. They can go faster, but Disney has chose not to make them go faster. And I'm not saying that they're governed. I'm just saying that the pilot and or the onboard computer will not make it go faster than Disney's selected speed. I have heard that with the new GPS system, and you can see the new GPS system, when you're riding the monorail, you'll see on the beam like these little poles with these little white boxes, and that is the GPS system. And I will say this, there are now, since they put the GPS in, since the trains are now self-aware of where all the other trains are on the track, there are less times that you are stopped somewhere and holding for traffic.
Clearance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Way less than it was when it was manually done, specifically and only by the monorail pilot. Yep. So now I feel like, well, that was a great improvement. I'm not sitting in the middle of the express line, waiting because the guy went too fast. So I do think that it is driven by a computer for speed. And since it is self-aware where all the other trains are, they can then make sure that they're all kind of going in the same speed so that they're not, clustering and clumping. Anyway, I will say it has gotten better over the years, but I don't think it's autonomous. Does the pilot just hit a button and go to sleep? No, he still has to open the doors. He still has to park it. He still has to hit the mark so that the doors, can open and things can happen, things like that. And I do notice lately too is that the people on the platform are now using the door close buttons rather than just the pilot.
On the outside.
On the outside. They used to not use any of those controls, but I have seen them now using those controls again. So that is good. And you should also know that every person on the platform has, it looks like a garage door clicker, and that is to shut down the train if there's a problem.
Yeah.
So,
and I know this is past or either pre or after. We'll talk about the incident here soon, but the reason why nobody sits up front, but there is also probably due to the GPS system. Now there's this big computer sitting in the front cockpit because they couldn't retrofit the system without just deleting an entire train car.
Right.
So there's this big computer due to the GPS system and everything else now.
Yeah. Which would have been, now they'd have to make new trains, where the pilot area is bigger to, hold all that equipment now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right, let's talk about 1971 and 1980, the Mark IV era. This is signaling safety. The system employed train protection, influenced by Disneyland's MAPO heritage. MAPO is an acronym that's short for Mary Poppins. The Mary Poppins movie funded a lot of things because of its success, so they call it MAPO things. It fixed signal blocks, speed code enforcement using guideway-based sensors, and train-borne equipment. If a train approached a block too fast, and these are markers in the beam, too fast or too close to another train, the protection system enforced braking stops. So you've ever got on a train, start slowing down weirdly, that's because it was hitting the block too quickly. And if back in the day when the pilots did it, they got dinged for that because it all got recorded. And then if they did that too many times, they had to go back to pilot school. Dispatch. Central control coordinated trains and routes, radio communication, linked trains, controlled pilots, handled station approach, door operations, departures, adherence to procedures. All that was done by dispatch control, which at Disney World was the TTC Center. That little thing, the little square booth at the end that nobody's ever in anymore, used to be central control. All the communications and operations were done from that. And now they're not. 1989 to 1991 gave us the Mark VI rollout. This was upgraded ATP controls. Bombardier Mark VI introduced more robust automatic train procedures. That's ATP, automatic train procedures. Better speed regulation, fail-safe integrated diagnostics. Pilots still dock the train, operate the doors, manage the stations, work the system, enforce the spacing speeds, and provides automatic braking limits if exceeded. Central Systems, Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, which is called SCADA, improvements and more comprehensive central control monitoring of the train status, power sections, and switches. In 2009 and after the post-collision safety upgrade, procedure interlocks. After July 5th, 2009, the fatal collision near the TTC during a reverse switching move on the Epcot beam, Disney strengthened rules around switching and reversing, adding interlocks, improved communication requirements, and implemented additional safeguards to prevent misrouted movements. Pink and purple were retired. Teal and later peach came on later. So what I know about this incident from the monorail person that I've spoke to was one train was going to back in to go out to the service area. So it has to back into the TTC area and then
change track.
And then it changes track and it goes out back to the monorail barn. And usually what happens is that pilot will ask somebody on the platform, hey, is the platform clear for me to back into? Because they can't see.
Yeah.
And usually that call comes from the platform supervisor. Well, the platform supervisor at the time was in a restaurant. I think it was at Denny's. I guess it doesn't matter. In a restaurant bathroom and said, yes, clear to proceed, without knowing because he couldn't see anything. And that's when that's when the accident happened. So
nice. That's nice. That's not nice at all.
Not nice. I mean, yeah.
No.
It was stupid. It was stupid for him to call. He should have said, well, call so-and-so on the platform.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If that's the truth, then that shouldn't have been a call to be made for sure.
Yeah. 2010 to present, automation, refinements, and asset tracking. So wayside onboard upgrades. Disney updated door sensors, logic, refitted controls, refinished interiors, and tightened platform door procedures. Central control visibility of train locations and status improved. Location and tracking. Disney implemented modern fleet tracking and telemetry, While many WD buses use GPS as part of next-gen systems, monorail movement control still relies on guideways-based signaling and train-borne protection, not GPS. Position awareness for dispatch and guest-facing announcements can be aided by wayside beacons, transponders, telemetry. GPS may be used for high-level asset tracking, but not in the basis of train movement or authority. Autonomous status. The system uses automatic train protection and speed enforcement, and it can be automated certain functions, i.e. cruise speed regulation, as I kind of mentioned, fail-safe stopping, docking, door operations, and many operational decisions remain pilot controlled. With central control oversight, Disney has not converted WDW guest services to driverless operation yet. Will it happen?
I kind of hope they don't fully.
I think they'll go that way.
They probably will, and somewhere in the distant future. But
they will test the snot out of it before anything is
you'll
ever
have
happened.
to. Yeah, you'll have to. It'll be closed late at night with nobody around.
Well, they were testing driverless buses for cast members. The bus that went from the Magic Kingdom cast parking to the Utilidor for a little while was driverless. I don't know whatever happened to those tests and what they decided to do with it, but apparently there's a driver back in the seat of the bus. So we'll see.
And another thing, maybe we should cover buses one day too, but we should, because they're pretty pivotal in how they've changed over the years. Maybe we should do that next time if we get a chance.
Yeah.
But that GPS you were talking about, it does the same thing with buses. The reason why you get a TV screen at your hotel that tells you what time it's going to arrive or what time, that's GPS tracking.
Yes.
That's the reason why that's the reason why everybody knows now.
Yeah.
So you can sit there and say, okay, it'll be here at 10:45.
Yeah.
10 minutes from now. Perfect.
Yeah. It also digitally changes the sign for them. I don't think the driver does it anymore.
No, you're probably right. I didn't think about that, but because this way they can change lines and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because you used to see them toggling through, click, 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 looking for the right one out, and then they pass in there. Click, 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 click. Now you don't see the driver do anything.
Just drive.
Yeah, just drive.
And told to go get gas.
Well, somebody told me, I still have not verified this. Somebody told me the buses do not have a gas gauge. They are filled up every night with French fry fuel. They literally just run all day until the end of the day, and then they're all refilled for the next day.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true.
That's impressive.
I've never asked a bus driver, can I see the gas gauge? Maybe I should one day, just to see what happens. Yeah, dude, it's right over here. What do you mean there's no gas gauge? It's right here. I don't know. I'm going to ask one day. I'll have to go one day when it's not very busy and the bus isn't very busy and just ask the driver, you have a gas gauge up front? Let me see it. How many French fries does that take?
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
Plus one chicken nugget.
Exactly. All right, we got more.
All right. Yes, we do. So lines length and operation snapshot here. The lines, there are 3 active routes: Magic Kingdom Express, Magic Kingdom Resort, and the TTC to Epcot. Total guideway length about 14 to 15 miles across the 3 beams. Speed and capacity, typical operating speeds up to roughly 40 miles per hour with lower speeds for stations and curves. Total capacity varies by trains, in-service, and dispatch intervals. Central control manages spacing and route assignments. Automation enforces speed and headway limits. You may see 40, not that you'll ever know, but it'd probably be only on that Epcot line since it's the longest track there is of absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I wish they went faster. I wish they went like 55, 60 miles an hour.
I wish they would have made them all go to every park, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That'd have been nice, but
fantastic.
we understand the amount of money that would have costed.
Yeah, they got money.
Which is why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
But nothing goes to Animal Kingdom at all.
It would have been at least nice if, like, the monorail connected to the Skyway. I don't know. If one transportation system connected to another. And if the monorail was prohibited, what about people mover stuff? Anyway, we could do a whole show
monorail
about
connects to the
done.
Skyway. The downfall is you have to walk to the other end of the park in Epcot to get to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
the hard part.
Yeah, stupid. All right, let's talk about notable incidents, breakdowns, and safety notes. So, in the mid-1980s, an onboard fire, a significant Mark IV fire event occurred near the Contemporary Resort. Guests were evacuated and treated for smoke inhalation. No fatalities. This prompted inspections and procedural reviews. On July 5th, 2009, we had the collision on the Epcot beam near TTC, where Monorail Purple and Pink collided. After the investigation, Disney retired Pink and Purple, created Teal from the undamaged cars, and then later added Peach. It strengthened the rules around communication interlocks for switching and reversing maneuvers. There was a weather power interruption. Central Florida lightning and storms can cause power trips or stoppages. Some events required controlled evacuations using walkways or portable stairs. Protocols have been refined to reduce exposure and manage evacuations. Door panel issues in the late 2010s. Remember when the doors used to pop open? That was always interesting video to watch. Widely reported case.
I wasn't on one of those.
Yeah, a widely reported case of a door not properly secured led to sensor logic upgrades. A separate exterior panel window incident prompted fleet-wide inspections and repairs. Occasionally, mechanical faults, tire, traction motors, couplers, HVAC. Yeah, when the AC goes out on a monorail, it's hot in there.
It's hot.
Sometimes lead to short service suspension for inspections or repairs. Typically complex high-duty transit system. Another we should mention is all monorails are stored inside the monorail building, except for two, which typically sit at the TTC or inside the Contemporary. If it's a bad night, it's inside the Contemporary. If it's a relatively good night, it'll be at the TTC. And it's not the same two each night. They're rotating so that all of them can at least get into the maintenance barn to be looked at and reviewed.
What? It's just because they all can't fit.
Yeah, it's because it only stores 10 and not 12. So two have to stay somewhere else. Typically if there's a hurricane coming, they're inside the Contemporary, not in the TTC building. But
yeah, it's the most
also
covered.
Bad weather, hail, rain, bad wind, or whatever. Then another time that they'd be in the Contemporary, not the TTC. So, okay, next up.
All right. Monorail colors, original roster, and current roster. Disney identifies each train by its color stripe. The roster shifted with fleet changes and the 2009 incident. The Mark IV era, 1970 to 1980. Commonly cited colors: red, orange, gold, yellow, lime, green, blue, purple, pink, silver. As Epcot demand grew, additional sets were added. Shades and exact counts reported vary across sources because the roster evolved before the Mark VI replacement. The Mark VI era, 1989 to 2009, before the collision, were red, coral, orange, gold, yellow, lime, green, blue, purple, pink, black, silver. And the current roster, post 2009 to today, are red, coral, orange, gold, yellow, lime, green, blue, teal, silver, black, and peach. Some notes: pink and purple were retired after the collision in 2009. Teal was built from the undamaged cars and entered service in 2010. Peach entered service in 2011, restoring the fleet count. Trains occasionally receive temporary promotional wraps. Example were the Tron Rail, but official color names remained unchanged.
Yep.
So
I think
I've seen a few wraps.
Oh, yeah. I think when they retired one of the Mark IV, I think one of them went to Vegas when Vegas started their monorail.
Oh, their loop. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's in service any longer because I think they've replaced all of theirs to, better trains. But, yeah. There's another... I was in a Disneyana fan club, and one of the guys in the club was pilot number 1. He was the first monorail pilot at Walt Disney World.
Wow.
And he drove monorail red. And I think it was the Mark IV.
Wow.
One of the trains was retired, and somebody bought it at an auction.
Oof.
And has not the middle part, it's the pilot part of the train, and this guy Robert went down, and I think it's in South Carolina, and visited this guy and visited the monorail, and was telling the guy all about hey, I used to drive this thing all around Disney World.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
I guess I don't know. I guess some other mention here is I don't know when it started, but we added the colors, the neons underneath the rails underneath the train cars as well.
Yeah, post pandemic, we added the color, the neons.
And then recently we just added the colors to the train names or the Walt Disney marquee on the front and the back of the trains as well.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Which was a nice touch, the underlighting. It looks nice. It kind of adds some more pop to it. Yeah, it does look nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody enjoys it. I think it's a nice upgrade.
Yeah. Now the carpeting in the cab matches the color of the monorail too.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff. So why do monorails endure, right? First of all, it's an iconic experience. As a kid, the first time I went to Disney, I could have ridden that thing all day, just around the resort loop.
Me too. Me too.
It was fun. It was fun. Yes, at Disney World it is transportation. At Disneyland it is an attraction. But for me as a kid, that was just an attraction. And I think probably the reason we didn't ride around back in the day, you used to have a transportation ticket. I think it was $1. You used to get that with your ticket book. When you purchased at the TTC, your ticket book, you were, and then you boarded your transportation. So whether you took the ferry boat or the monorail, you had to give up your transportation ticket. You didn't need one for the way back because they knew you eventually had to leave. You only needed one to get on there.
Yeah.
So, some other things is to workhorse transport. I feel they could be bigger, especially at park closed. I don't feel there's enough room on them. The TTC Magic Kingdom Corridor and Resort Loop provide high, reliable capacity where it's most needed, of course. Technology showcase. Over 5 decades of Walt Disney World Monorail has combined showmanship with rigorous transportation operations, continually updating safety and control technology while retaining onboard for pilot and guest services. And if you think about it, these things are running 18 hours a day, all day, every day, rain. So yeah, it is the workhorse of Disney transport.
That's including, if not more, than before guests get on, because they got to run their track loop tests before they even get going.
Yeah.
All inspections and everything.
Yeah. So it's all good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things going on there. So
Yeah.
maybe we will talk about the buses next.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to do a lot more research because I know the buses have evolved a lot too. So
yeah, they have, and they've been. I say they've been around longer, but they really haven't. But their evolution has been more. Yeah, their evolution has been a little bit more.
Yeah. It's still, I think, what is it now? The second or third largest bus fleet in the state of Florida. I think Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and then Disney World. It's something.
Wow.
The last count I had was something like 235 buses. And I feel like that number is more now.
It might be low now. Yeah, it might be low by now.
Yeah. Because
I mean, look, every time you open a hotel, you kind of got to add a couple more.
Yeah, I think wasn't last year where they added all those new buses, with the charging ports and the flip up seats.
Yeah, and the Wi-Fi on them.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi and all that stuff. So, I feel like 235 is a low number now. I feel it's probably closer to 300, 330, if I was going to guess. Anyway. All right. If you got questions about monorails, send them to me. Sure. I'll take them.
Yep.
DisneyParksPodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. If you listen or see this on YouTube,
yes, thank you.
Please like us, subscribe, hit the button, heart us, whatever you got to do. It all helps the YouTube algorithm to pop this into more people's feeds. So, all right, Mr. James, hit him up. Tell him where to meet us.
If you don't find us here on the Extra Magic Hours, you can catch us probably riding that monorail.
The Extra Magic Hour podcast is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company. All Disney parks, attractions, lands, shows, event names, etc. are registered trademarks of the Walt Disney Company.